thought I'd put a little video together, just kind of going over what I have for knives. I get a lot of questions and stuff like that, asked about my knives, about sharpening my knives and stuff like that, when people see me using them in my videos. I thought, instead of answering those questions over and over and over again, ongoing, I'd put a video together real quick that just kind of shows you what I got and what I do with it, and maybe answer most of those questions, so later on down the road I can refer people to the video. Okay, so these are the knives I have in my kitchen. This is my main pro set right here. I use this for just about everything I do. And then I've got this butcher block here, and this has some Cuisinart knives in it that, you can get this at any box store or whatever. It's just a Cuisinart knife block's all it is. And I don't really use these much for when I'm really working. These are in my kitchen in case somebody else needs a knife to prep something. I don't let anybody touch these knives ever. First of all, they're not cheap knives, and second of all, I keep them extremely sharp, and I mean, they'll go to the bone with so little effort, it's ridiculous. So I just don't let anybody use these knives. And most people, if you're a cook, if you work on a professional level at all, you just don't. Those are your personal tools. So I'm going to be putting product links, affiliate product links, in the comments section of this video. So if there's any items here you guys want to purchase, you can use those links to purchase those items. And if you use the affiliate links, you're helping our channel out because we get a little bit of a kickback for it. Even if you use the link to look at the item and maybe shop other items, maybe there's different knives in the same brand or something you want, if you enter through that link, it helps the channel out, just to let you know. So let me show you what we got here. This is what I use for butchering. So when I'm actually working a whole animal, these are the knives I'm going to use for that. These are the knives I use for all of my prep and a little bit of my serving. So, oh yeah, and one other thing, I've got this product. This is what I use to sharpen my knives. When I finish using them, they get sharpened with this. This is a Diamond Hone Chef's Choice knife sharpener, and it does a very good job. You have a coarser and then a fine, and so whenever I'm done using my knives, they get sharpened, they put back away. And then during my prep work, I'll use this knife steel here. Okay, so this is what I use for butchering. If I'm working a whole animal out, this is what I'll use. This is a knife company, or the knife itself is Forstner, but they are also marketing under the label Swiss Army, and there's one other. What is it? Oh, Victorinox. So all three of those are really the same company. I don't know who bought out who or what happened. It used to just be these people back when I bought these knives. These are the ones I use the most. I don't do a lot of whole animal cutting, but I have and will ultimately again. So now, getting back to my main set, which is what we're really here to talk about. Okay, I'm going to put the main focus on these knives on this side, these black handled knives. These are Westhoff knives. They're part of the Classic series. They're a professional grade forged steel knife, where these other ones, the Forstners, are stamped steel knives. The difference between the two, the stamped steel, basically they have a sheet of steel and the knife is stamped out of it, and then it's honed and sharpened and handles are put on it. And the forged ones are literally forged. They're pounded, rolled, and pounded, and rolled, and pounded. So they're much harder steel. What that means for you and I is the blade, when you sharpen it, will last a lot longer before you have to resharpen it again. Typically 3 times longer. But then you pay for it too. So it's a more expensive knife. And they're both very good knives. So starting with this side, if I was asked to make a recommendation, well, geez, I'm getting into cooking, what would you recommend as a starter set? It would be these 3 knives, and they are sold in a starter set. You can also eliminate the paring knife and just get these 2 in a starter set, or you can buy them all individually. I bought mine individually. Later on they had starter sets, and then I could have saved a lot of money by going that route. Okay, so here's a breakdown. I'm gonna kind of go in the order of usefulness. So this is our chef knife. This is an 8-inch chef knife, and this is the go-to knife of just about every chef, any kind of professional cook. If they were given an option, you can only have one knife, that's going to be the one to go for. You use this in all your food prep, all your chopping, you use it for slicing. It's the most versatile knife, and so it's the one that I use the most. I reach for that the most, and having a good, balanced, well-built chef knife, if you're going to do a lot of food prep, especially if you're like me and you cater, I might feed anywhere from 40 to 200 people, and so the prep work on a 200 person cook, it can fatigue you. So a well-balanced knife that can really get in there and do the job, a good chef knife is key to that. So that's the knife I use the absolute most. And then secondly is my boning knife. Okay, I use this obviously for what it's intended for boning, but I also use it for other precision work and stuff on smaller meats. You've seen this one most recently, would have been in the in my little Cornish game head video where I was doing spatchcocking. That's the knife I used for that, and so that's my second most reached for knife. Number 3 for me is going to be this Forstner breaking knife. Now, its initial intent, and what this knife is designed for, is for taking large roasts and breaking it down into smaller roasts or smaller pieces of meat. Where the big butcher knife I showed you earlier, where I said I use that on whole animals, well, I use that to break the whole animal into large parts, and then this comes in to break things down into even smaller parts, and the process goes all the way down. So that's what this is intended for. I use it for that. When I'm catering and stuff, I'll usually buy very large pieces of meat and I'll break it down. The other thing I use it for, and I do a lot, is this is a really good knife for cleaning up a roast, trimming fat, trimming silver skin off and stuff like that. So I'll use this a lot on brisket and pork butt and stuff like that for shaping and cleaning my roast. So that's my number 3. And then of course the paring knife, I use this for any small precision work in any of my prep, whether it's on meat, veggies, whatever it is. The paring knife comes in for that. So those are my main go-to knives. Now, if you're not looking at cooking on a professional level, and you're just doing, you're just cooking in your kitchen for your family, or you're just, shooting these great videos for your YouTube channel or whatever you're doing, these inexpensive home store, Target, Walmart, whatever, this is a Cuisinart here, like I said. You can buy these knives in the little butcher block sets. It gives you everything you need, and they do a great job. You keep them sharp. They're fine for that. There's no reason to go out and invest a bunch of money in these more expensive knives. I still reach for them in here. In fact, if you look at my brisket video, I actually was using this to trim silver skin and prep my my briskets. That's that. I'm going to be producing a 6-video series here in the near future. I can't say exactly when, and we're going to go into the breaking down of actual instructional use of these knives, how to use the boning knife for boning, etc., knife techniques and stuff like that. So we'll go over all that at a later time. So now you know this is what I use and what I use it for and how I sharpen my knives. So until next time, go outside and cook.